YouTube, what's going on? BD Wolfgang 1980 here, aka Bezell, the man to see and the place to be in the QCNC. Hope you're doing well. I most certainly am. Welcome to your TNA Impact Review for October 22nd, 2014. Yeah, that's right, that was Wednesday. And it was a good one, as usual. TNA is continuing this trend of giving us good wrestling, some good building storylines, and all that good stuff. Let's get right to it. Show opens up with a recap / rude promo about his journey to to regain the World Heavyweight Championship again. And then from there, the focus shifts to the Wolves, and then they they show that promo from last week where they call out the tag teams in the tag team tournament. Say, hey, bring any comers, we'll take on all the best. From there, we cut to the ring. Matt Hardy comes out, and what they were doing this week, just to kind of set the table, guys, TNA was, with the 8-man tag tournament, TNA was letting wrestlers come out, and then they would name their partner. So the audience and us, the audience in the ring, the audience at home, we didn't know. It was kind of fun, kind of silly at times, but it was kind of fun, with a little bit of a mystery to, who's going to be teaming up together. So, but with this one, it was no mystery. We all could guess who it was. But Matt comes out. He announces that his partner is going to be Jeff, of course. Jeff comes out. Then DJ Zima Ion in the house. He comes out, and of course he says that Jesse G is going to be his partner. Get down to the ring. We get the bell going. Hardy Boys walk over poor DJ Z pretty well. They're getting all their usual spots, a couple of their tag team moves. Jesse comes in, locks up with Jeff. Matt comes in, and after some DJ Z interference, Jesse actually takes control. There's a tag to DJ Z. They go back and forth with Matt. Matt actually sneaks in a side effect, gets the better of DJ Z. Both men make it up to the hot tags because both partners are chomping at the bit to come on in, clean up the ring a little bit. Jeff takes over. We get a whisper in the wind. He tags Matt. We get a twist of fate, followed by a swanton bomb. It was all in succession, guys. It was boom, twist of fate, and as soon as Matt gets up, Jeff's already coming off the top rope. Boom, swanton. 1, 2, 3. Hardy Boys are your winners. From there, we get Bram. He comes out, recap of what he did to Devon last week. As far as when he's coming down the ramp, they show what happened to Devon. He has a microphone. He talks about enjoying the sound of a human body being destroyed. Guys, I've said it once. I've said it before. I like Bram. This was a little out there. And don't take my words as me saying the promo was out there. It just felt a little flat. Now, it could have been the crowd. And I like Bram. Bram really gets into the storytelling of wrestling that I really like about him. It might have just been the crowd, but it went over a little flat. But I actually enjoyed and was eager to hear what kind of promo Bram was going to cut. So as far as I'm concerned, it worked. It's no big deal. Okay. Talks about being a new king of hardcore. Talks about, this is his time. Hey, anybody that thinks differently, come knock me out. Come down here and kick my butt. Prove it. He actually calls out Devon. Devon comes out. A brawl ensues, and it was back and forth, inside, outside the ring. A good beatdown, guys. It was, and sometimes I don't like these brawls because they kind of lead nowhere. And sometimes they can go too long. But this one was fine. It had some good action in and outside the ring. Security runs down there, breaking it up. Kurt Angle comes out, full intro because we hear the music and everything. He comes out. Both men are separated. And, of course, Kurt, being the wrestling manager of operations, or manager of wrestling operations, he sets up a hardcore match on the spot. Well, they're going to do it later, but he sets up a hardcore match for later tonight, which was awesome. Hey, let these two guys go ahead and fight it out. From there, we get a backstage segment. Sam Shaw and the lovely Brittany. And let me tell you, Brittany was breaking some hearts tonight, guys. Asked him to do something we talked about earlier. He says he's got to think about it. Now, bear in mind, she's up close to him, kind of whispering in his ear, "Are you going to do what I asked you to do earlier?" Using her womanly ways as us men are suckers for. Guys, comment down below. You know how it is. He says he's got to think about it. She acts like he will be well rewarded if he does do whatever it is that she asked him to do. And that was it. From there, we go down to the ring. The One World Warrior, Low Key, is out there. He has the microphone. He says his partner's going to be a man he respects very much, a man who he's been to war with, a man who he knows can get the job done, a man who has something around his waist he wants right now. So from there, we already knew it was going to be the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. Then he comes out, of course. Sam Shaw comes out to the ring. He has the microphone in hand, getting ready to announce who his partner was. Now, this one was a little tricky. Now, the obvious answer would have been Gunner, but I didn't know if they were trying to set up something new here or set up a new storyline or try to swerve us a little bit. But they didn't. He did choose Gunner. He said a man he respects, a man he loves like a brother. And Gunner came out and actually second that notion. Say, hey man, let's do it, man. You know, the Marines, no man left behind. I saw something in you. Let's go out here and take care of business. So they get pumped. They going out to the ring. Good match. Started off really nice. Of course, Low Key's going to get his spots. Excellent worker, guys. Just to set the table for you real quick, pause real quick. For me, all this Loki stuff is new. I wasn't familiar with him from back in the day. Now you're probably saying, Bezell, what kind of wrestling fan are you? I'm an honest one. I'm being honest with you. I wasn't familiar with him back in the day. So for me, this is all fresh. I'm enjoying it. The athleticism. Man, the guy is awesome. So, hey, comment down below. I know you guys seen it for years, but this is all new to me. I'm enjoying it. Good back and forth match. Low Key does his spots. Joe comes in, cleaning some house. They work over Shaw pretty good. Now, at this point, Brittany walks down to the ring. She's being a little distracting. She's cheering on Sam. She keeps yelling for Samuel, hey, Samuel, remember what we talked about. Gunner is kind of shooing her away, like, hey, let us work, let us get this match done. Finally, Gunner takes an Irish whip into the ring, bounces off the ropes, and as he's doing so, Brittany grabs his leg, almost tripping him. Gunner is distracted, turns around, and starts to scold her like, hey, what are you doing? Get the heck out of here. And lo and behold, as he falls down as he's distracted by Brittany, he gets grabbed from behind by the Samoan submission machine. Samoa Joe gets put in the Coena clutch. We get a tap out. Poor Gunner loses to Low Key and Joe due to the distraction submission here. And at this point, Gunner is hot. He's fuming. He is he's telling Brittany off. And boom! Back of the head, back area with a chair from Sam Shaw to Gunner. So no more friendship. He laid into Gunner pretty good. I think he took several chair shots. It was pretty awesome. And from there, Brittany just runs into the ring and jumps into his arms. And they kiss and make out in the ring, rolling all over the place. It was actually kind of funny because as Gunner is laid out in the ring, they ended up rolling over him too, which is kind of funny. So that's how that segment ends. We have a split between Samuel Shaw and Gunner now. So let's see how that works out. We get a backstage segment, EC3, along with a Big Tyrus, saying that, hey, they're going to tag up tonight. And EC3 personally challenged Spud to find him a partner and see if he can take us on, see what happens. And then we get another backstage segment. We cut to MVP, King, and Lashley, talking about how they're not worried about Rude one bit. Why should they be? We're taking care of Rude. He's no threat around here. He thinks he is, but we got it under control. King and MVP also let us know that they're going to tag up tonight. So from there, we cut to the ring. Rebel is out there, and they say she's supposed to take on Angelina Love. So she's waiting. She does her intro. She's waiting. We get Havoc's music. Rebel's looking very shocked. She's actually speaking with the referee like, hey, what's going on here? This isn't what... Havoc comes to the ring, total beatdown. Just destroys the poor girl. She takes a Harlot Slayer. Boom, she's out. But from there, we see the return of Gail Kim. That's right. The wonderful Gail Kim comes running out to the ring. She's still selling that shoulder injury. She had the shoulder taped up pretty good. She was in street clothes. She wasn't dressed to compete. But she ran out there and starts taking it to Havoc. They start brawling. And, of course, it ends there with no resolution. The security breaks it up, whatnot. And then from there, we go to commercial break. We cut to Kurt Angle, and he's commenting about the upcoming contract signing tonight for the World Heavyweight Championship next week. I know I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure you are too. From there, it's hardcore match time. Bram and Devon. Well, it was actually really good as Bram is continuing that trend of putting on some good hardcore matches. I've certainly been enjoying them. I know some of you have too. Big bumps by Brown. Showed he's a tough guy. That bump he took into the stairs, he took an Irish whip to the stairs. Absolutely brutal. Caught a lot of the upper head area too. And when I say a stair bump, guys, it was a stair bump, not that John Cena, running into it slow motion and all of a sudden hit it kind of mess. This guy got flung into the steps. It was awesome. He took it and sold it. He might have been hurt. He also took a very vicious chair shot to the head. Chair shot from Devon after Devon laid a trash can lid over his head and had another chair under the other side of his head. It was pretty awesome. It sounded very wicked. I mean, we got trash can shots, trash can lids, chairs, and let's see here. Let's see how it wrapped up. Okay, Devon ends up getting back on top and dominating Brown, especially after that devastating chair shot to the head. All of a sudden, Magnus comes out to the ring. He got a kendo stick in hand, and he just sucker punches Devon with the kendo stick. From there, Bram hits Devon with that turnbuckle he loves to carry around. We get a 1, a 2, and a 3. The winner is Bram. Okay. Now, where are we gonna go with this? Because I told you I'm enjoying the whole Bram gimmick, and actually I thought it's done well for Magnus too, as far as him trying to do a little comeback. But they have been teasing a split lately. So where does this go? I'm very curious, especially with Magnus with his arrogant self. He's probably the first thing he's gonna say to Bram when they get to the back is, "Hey, good job out there, but luckily I was there to save you." So very curious to see where that's gonna go. From there, we get another backstage segment. Now, bear in mind, I'm probably saying to you backstage segment every other word, it seems like. But guys, they were short, they were quick, they were to the point, and they were setting up matches. I have no problem with that. If we're just talking just to exercise our gums, I got a problem with that. But they were setting up matches, and they were to the point. But from the backstage, we got Sarge, Chris Melendez. Hope you haven't forgotten about him. And Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson actually asked Sarge to partner up with him tonight for the tag team tournament. They're going to take on MVP and King. Sarge shows a lot of fire in this promo. Says that he's more than happy to accept. I enjoyed that. He had a lot of passion in it. Came off really believable. Came off good. I liked it. Okay, here we go. Come back. We're bound to the ring. It's time for a match. Sarge Mr. Anderson versus Kenny King, King of the Night, and MVP, half man, half amazing. Good tag work from the heels. They were working it. We kept the baby faces cut off in the corners. MVP and King keeping them isolated. Good tag from the heels. Tag work. A good run from King. A good run in from Sarge. When Sarge finally does get the hot tag, let me tell you guys, he went off. A good run on King he did. Beautiful fisherman suplex out of nowhere. Good hip tosses. He looked really crisp this time. Looked more comfortable in there compared to his debut about a month or so ago. Comment down below. Tell me what you thought. But no, I thought Sarge looked really good. Unfortunately, Kenny King does get back to his sneaky ways and ends up sneaking up behind Sarge and just getting a schoolboy due to the MVP distraction. Gets a schoolboy, roll up, handful of tights, 1, 2, 3. King and MVP, they move on. We cut backstage. And of course, our favorite resident motivational speaker, Eric Young, EY, he's back there with Rockstar Spud. He asked Spud to tag up with him tonight. Come out there. Be my partner. I got your back. You have my back. Stand up to EC3. I've been standing up to bullies my whole life. Standing up to bullies my whole career. You can do it. Spud looks nervous and doesn't really give an answer yet. He's kind of like, I don't know, EY. I really appreciate your confidence in me, but this could be a bit much. Finally, EY says, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to force you to understand what you have to do. So from there, we cut to the Wolves backstage. They just got done taping their promo, and they're walking away. They go their separate ways. David goes one way, Eddie goes the other. James Storm comes out the shadows, lurking about, confronts Davey, and starts to tempt him with achieving greatness. You ever thought about being great? Hey, it's a nice thing you're doing with this tag team, but you ever thought about being great? There's only one way to be great around here in this business, and I think you all know what I'm talking about. That's singles competition, World Heavyweight Championship. But he doesn't get into all that part. He just tempts him with greatness, talking about his past successes, the great Sonata, the new Manic. As a matter of fact, he tells Manic to come over, and Manic does, and he asks him to talk to David. And the segment ends like that. So there was no pushing or shoving, no arguing, no, hey, get out of here, I don't have time to hear this. It just showed that David was there and Manic was there. So maybe he's intrigued by this. Let's see where this goes, guys. From there, we got EC3 and Tyrus. They're already out to the ring because we already know that they're going to tag up. So there was no mystery partner angle to this match. Eric Young comes out alone, calls out Spud again. We get music, but no Spud. From there, EC3 gets back on a hot mic, starts talking junk. See, I told you, Spud, stay back there, you big baby. You ain't coming out here. You're not ready for this. He continues to taunt poor Spud. We hear the music. Spud comes out. And let me tell you guys, he had a look in his eye like he was ready to rock and roll. He came out looking intense. But unfortunately, when that match started, EC3 baited him in, and Spud hit him with a hit or two, or tried to. EC3 just walked away, tagged Tyrus, and from this point, Spud was literally fed to Tyrus, taking big time beatings, big boots, hip tosses, arm drags, just power maneuver after power maneuver with poor Spud, thrown around like a rag doll. From there, Spud has already been manhandled. EC3 comes in, tries to get in a few more of his licks. But actually, Spud starts to fire up a little bit, and he slaps the taste out of EC3. Makes his way over to the corner, gets the hot tag. EY comes in, he cleans house. Well, actually, he tries to clean his house, but to no avail. Big Tyrus gets his way back in. Finish of the match was a choke slam to poor Spud, and it was devastating. Oh, and of course, Tyrus lets EC3 get the 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. EC3 and Tyrus are your winners. Now, where is this going to go? Are we going to have a relationship between Spud and EY? Is that where this is going to go? Tag team competition? Are we going to see the birth of Spud later? Is he going to try to make a singles run? Is he going to try to get back in the good graces of EY? Maybe try to join up with his new stable. Let's see what happens. Stay tuned to Impact. I know I am. Okay, so it's time for the main segment. It's time for the contract signing between Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode. Kurt Angle comes to the ring. He invites both competitors to come out. Of course, Lashley is flanked by MVP and King. MVP takes a few jabs at Kurt, and Kurt just smirks at him because I think later on, guys, we're probably going to have a match between those two, or at least somebody from the stable if Kurt Angle does stick around. But let's get back to subject here. Roode cuts a promo to Lashley saying that, hey, you know it and I know it, man. I was close. You got me, but I was close. And you know that deep down inside. And if you're a competitor like I think you are, you want to settle the score and end all doubt. Roode says he is all about TNA. TNA is his life. TNA is all he cares about. And it says it makes the point to say, not MMA. So he's trying to take a jab at Lashley's passion for being involved in two sports. Which, hey, whatever. I actually think it's rather, I think it's good for TNA. But that's a whole other video. He says, my passion is wrestling. That's all I care about. Not wrestling in MMA. He also says he's going to win next week and take that title. MVP grabs the microphone and counters back and says, you know what? Lashley can beat your butt anytime, anywhere. It's enough of this nonsense. We're not signing nothing. Let's get on out of here. Enough's enough. Y'all have a good night. We're going to go party. MVP turns around, walks off. Lashley walks kind of with him. Stops in his tracks. Turns around, slowly walks to the contract, and then takes the pen and signs it. MVP is very disappointed. It's like, yo, champ, come on now. What are you doing? No. Lashley is his own man, guys. Now, this did not set up a babyface turn or nothing like that, but it showed that everything that Roode was saying to Lashley was true. This is, he did get close. He does want to prove that it was a fluke, and you won't, the second time around, you won't get nowhere near to beating me. So I'm looking forward to this match. What about you? I most certainly am. Comment down below. Tell me what you thought about this week's episode. Has it been on point with the past few weeks? To me, it has been. To me, it's one, still one of my highlights of the week. I'm enjoying it very much. I actually did watch the other guys this week. The competition or the leader, whatever you want to call them. I did watch them this week, and I enjoyed it decently. Maybe it's because I hadn't watched in so long. I hadn't watched in about 4 weeks, so maybe my expectations were so low that it was a decent show. But I still couldn't bring myself to review it. But either way, Sorry about the late review, guys. I've been thinking about you. I'm going to stay on it here this week. We're going to give you lots of new videos. Trust me, promise you. Share, like, tell a friend, comment down below, subscribe. Be good to one another. I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned. Bezell out.